Hi, my name is David Green, and I was a recipient of an Architecture Foundation of Georgia scholarship in 1990 when I was going back to graduate school at Georgia Tech, and it was a huge help for me in the furtherance of my career, which has culminated today in my being a principal at Perkins & Will, one of the largest design firms in the world, as well as over 20 years teaching at Georgia Tech as a professor of the practice currently. Interestingly, when I got the award, I was planning on becoming a full-time academic, and through a series of circumstantial events, I started a small firm in 1994 with a classmate of mine, and instead of becoming a full-time academic, I've remained a part-time academic and become much more involved in the professional side of the architecture profession. So my plans have changed greatly. In fact, when I got registered, I made a joke that I would never use my stamp because I was going to remain in academia. And of course, at this point, I've stamped thousands, if not tens of thousands of drawings for projects over the last 2 decades. In my case, the award was critical because my mother was putting herself through graduate school, my brother through graduate school, and myself through graduate school. So as a single mother who was a school teacher, it was very difficult. And I think without the scholarship that I got from the Architecture Foundation, it would have been much more difficult to put myself through school at that point. The Architecture Foundation of Georgia is a great entity. It means a lot to me because I was able to utilize the scholarship that I received back in the early 90s, but it's also been a force for good in the state. It's great to see it starting to re-expand its potential for community outreach, as well as expand its potential for educational outreach. I think that people really need to understand that there's value in providing funding for the foundation. I also think it's important for firms, both small and large, that provide scholarships to schools to understand that it's in everyone's benefit if those scholarships move through the foundation. It really benefits the state as a whole, and there's really no downside to either the receiving schools or the firms that are providing the scholarship funding for the students. I think that this is the wave of the future for the foundation, and I'm hoping that we can see this expand statewide.